Right, so a couple of years ago I tracked down my father. When my mum was pregnant, he left and he didn't want to know, and he fled to Germany. And so I never knew my father growing up, and I really didn't know very much about him. And then I found somebody who matched certain details that I did have, of the limited information I did have. This man matched some of the details I had. So I contacted him and said, "Did you work in Birmingham at this time? Blah 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 blah." And he kind of confirmed certain details. And then I wrote another email saying, "Well, if this is true, then I think you may be my father." So there set the emotions for what was to come. It has been an emotional roller coaster. I remember when I realised that I'd found my father and seeing pictures of him for the first time, I was shaking. Just uncontrollable shaking and just disbelief, because I never ever thought that I would find him. You know, from the age of 16, I used to search vote registers to try and find his name. From 16, and it took me till I was 34, because I think it was 2 years ago now. It took me till I was about 34 to finally I found him. So all these emotions over the years that I had carried, I was excited but scared. And then you have to then approach that person and say, "I think you're my father," and that in itself is another dilemma and fear, because you worry about being rejected, and rejection is probably the hardest thing, but unless you try, you don't know what's going to happen. So yes, I wrote to him and he confirmed that he was my father, but there was a problem for me. His occupation was faith healer exorcist. And I was just like, typical, I would have a father as an exorcist, wouldn't I? Fine, I give everybody a chance, it doesn't matter what you do. But that's where the problem lay, because it was very difficult to build a relationship with this man, because he had very strong religious beliefs, and that seemed to take more importance, was lecturing me about the Bible and, you know, spirits and all of this and his work, rather than getting to know me. He never even asked me my date of birth, nothing. So it has been a really difficult, it wasn't what I expected. You know, you watch programs where they unite people together and it just didn't, and it's all lovey-lovey, and this really wasn't like that. It has been very emotional. I'm going to insert a clip now. I took this video probably a week of having a week's contact with my father and just finding out, and this is about my emotions to do with that and surrounding that. If the sound quality isn't that brilliant, I'm really sorry. It was taken on my laptop, a spur of moment thing where I was just feeling the need to talk about my experiences and capture on camera those initial emotions. So please like and thumbs up this video, leave your comments below if you too have found a long lost relative or father or mother and how you felt, because it would be really nice to hear from you. Thank you. Hello, my name's Sarah. I'm going to do this video because I think it's really important for all those people out there who grew up as a child without a parent, or even both sets of parents because you may have been adopted, and that journey when you decide to track them down, and what you may face and the feelings you may face when you actually are confronted with that parent, if that makes sense. I last week contacted somebody who I believed was my father, and it turned out he was. I never knew my father. He basically left my mum when she was pregnant. He basically just went away and never made contact. So I grew up without a father figure. And you know, when you hit your teens, you always wonder, you ask loads and loads of questions, you bombard. I know I did. I know I bombarded my mum with loads of difficult questions. And I grew up as a child with the stigma of not having a father figure, and other children saying, "Where's your daddy?" You know, children are really cruel, and it was really hard. It was really difficult, and you know, when I asked those questions to my mum, and you know, she could remember stuff. It was really difficult for her because he was Polish and his name was really long and difficult to say, and she couldn't actually remember his surname. So it was like looking for a needle in a haystack. And I remember sitting in Birmingham City Centre Library with the electoral register books like this, going through page after page after page, searching down the name indexes, looking for a similar name. You know, the first two names that he had. And I just remember giving up because I just thought, this is pointless, I'm never going to find him. I went through my 20s. Yes, I would think about him, but I never really did anything. And even when I got engaged when I was 28, I never really, I don't know, I didn't really, I just think I kind of accepted that I was never going to find him. I think it was too difficult. Where do you start? Where do you look? He could have gone, as far as I knew, he could have gone to Poland, where he was from, which was his nationality. So it wasn't there. It was really pointless. That's how I saw it. But then this year, I don't know what it was, but I think that I've got to know. I've got to see again if I can try and trace him with the internet. You know, so much gets broadcasted now, and so I put in his first two names, and a match came up for the right city, age, everything matched, and I thought it's got to be him. And I remember looking at the pictures of him and just, oh my god. I think I just cried. I was shaking. I was hysterical. I was like a mad woman. They would have taken me off in an ambulance if anybody had seen me, because I was just uncontrollable with all these emotions. I was excited, I was scared, I was in shock, I was angry, I was confused. And then when those emotions left down, you kind of accept it, that this is probably the right person. So that decision then, right, I've got to make contact, and that's probably going to be the hardest thing that you're going to find, is making that first contact, because it's really difficult. There's no way I could ever telephone somebody. I have to write it, because I think you can put yourself better across if you're going to write. And people, you're not putting somebody on the spot as well, and it's up to them then what they do next. So from probably that first seeing him on the internet, because he had Facebook, Twitter, Google account, he had lots of different profiles, and there were photos on there. It probably took me 4 months to finally pluck up the courage to actually email him and just say, look, I'm looking for this I'm looking for a family member. He went by the name of this. This was his birthday. I'm just wondering if you are that person, and the occupation in the 70s was this. And he wrote back and he said yes. But it was the most difficult thing to have to do, was to actually send that first email and to ask, and to try and get a confirmation that, yeah, I have got the right person, because you're worried about rejection, you're worried about somebody saying, I don't want to know, go away, or just lying. Lie. It's horrible, or if they come back and go, no, I'm not that person, it's like, God, I'm back to square one again. and I don't have any other leads. This is my only lead. So yeah, all kinds of emotions go through you. But I think I just woke up this one morning last week and just thought, I'm going to do it. I have to do it. I have to know. This is driving me crazy. I keep looking at his Facebook page and Twitter and stuff, and I need to know. I need to know if it's him. So yeah, I mean, I'm in a sense I'm kind of one of the lucky ones because of the I wrote and said, yeah, I'm looking for this family member, and he said, and these are the details of the person I'm looking for, and he wrote back and said, yes, I'm this, well, I'm that, so everything matched. But he never asked, who are you? And so I kind of suspected he knew what I was going to be saying next, and then I wrote back my second email and said, look, and I said to you, I'm looking for a family member. I am. I'm looking for my father. And then of course I've carried on to give details. And he wrote back and he didn't deny it. And then I think later on that day he sent me pictures of other family members, what would be my grandparents and a great grandmother in Poland. And it was weird because he's going, this is your auntie, da da da, this is your grandmother, da da da, you know, and it was like, oh my god, there was no demand. It's just as though everything's normal, you know. And it was really hard looking at pictures of all these relatives that I've got, and he was from quite a large family. I think it was 10 of them or something, 10 children, and it's like looking at the pictures and it just filled me with sadness. I felt really, really sad, really sad. I don't know why. I suppose whether it's that you've missed out on that, or I don't know. It's just sadness. I remember just tears trickled down my face when I looked at each picture. These are all the emotions you're going to go through. It's not easy, and a week later I'm still having trouble coming to grips with actually, yeah, now I know who my dad is. I know about him. I've seen pictures of him. He sent me pictures of when he was younger, at the time when he knew my mum. That was really weird because it's like, oh my god, oh, it's just crazy. It's just strange, and you're going to go through these feelings when you track down a parent. But I think what's been really difficult for me is the way it's been dealt with. And I went on his Facebook page the other day, and he put a couple of pictures of me and my daughter on there, going and saying, this is my beautiful daughter Sarah, and this is my adorable granddaughter. And I'm like, that doesn't sit easy with me. That's really uncomfortable to actually put me on your Facebook page. And basically, I'm an exorcist's daughter. You couldn't make it up. An exorcist daughter, and a man of God, and that I'm finding very difficult because I'm just not like that. Yes, I do believe in God, and I believe that there is something higher, and I believe in spirits, and I do believe in having faith. But he takes it to another level, and it's Bible bashing, and it's just I can't get my head around it. I don't like it. And so actually they posting videos of him doing an exorcism on a woman. Guys, I can't. I just can't. I can't deal with it. I'm finding it really, really hard. That's really, really difficult for me. It's just, oh my god. I can't even describe it because it's just so crazy.